he went from mocking vegans to actually, I know, who is this guy, right? to going to the first rescue on April 15th, Sunday. I'm looking at you. To going to the first rescue on April 15th and carrying out a dog, and for that he was arrested. And not only did he get arrested, but he said, "I'm going back." And so he was back for the second rescue where he led a red team. And so I would like to introduce to you Pete Ryman. Please come on. Thank you for all the work you're doing with the Fort Bois project and so many of the great animal rights work you're doing. So thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Let me set this up here. Set this aside. There it is, just for reference here. Thank you all for being here. I love seeing all these faces, and I met my first Ridglan dog today. My first truly free Ridglan dog, because I had the fortunate opportunity to rescue one at the first action, but it was brought recently to my knowledge that he was one of the 8 dogs that was more than likely taken back to Ridglan by police that day. So I don't know if he got out, after the 1,500 plus the 135 that were just recently released. I don't know if he was one of them. I can stay hopeful, but I may never know. So I want to talk to you about that dog today and share my story about the 2 actions. So I want you to close your eyes, and I mean it, just for a moment. And this is not for me, it's for the animals. So just close your eyes for a second, I'll tell you when to open them. You were born in a room, and you will die in a room. And in between, there is only the room. The fluorescent light overhead never goes dark. It only hums. And you have learned the sound of that hum the way other animals learn the sound of their mother's heartbeat. And you don't have a name, they never gave you one, only a number. And it was tattooed in your ear when you were too small to fight. You've never felt the sun. You don't know the sun even exists. You've never stood on grass. You don't know there is such a thing as grass. That somewhere past these walls, there are other dogs just like you, sleeping at the foot of someone's bed, safe, loved, and kissed goodnight. You don't know what loved means. You know the cage. You know the hum. You know the sound of the door at the end of the hall and the way your body starts shaking before it even opens. Because your body remembers what your mind is too gentle to bear. And when the fear takes over you, you try to scream, you open your mouth to cry out for help, and nothing comes, just air. Because they cut that out of you too. They debarked you. They reached down your throat and they cut out your vocal cords, so the room would stay quiet for them. It's the nightmare where you're screaming for help, but no sound comes, and you never wake up from this nightmare. And here's the cruelest part. When the hands reach in for you, you will not bite them. You'll lick them, because you're a beagle. And you were chosen for this precisely because you are kind. They breed you for your trust. They count on your forgiveness. You will wag your tail at the person carrying you toward the worst day of your life. Now open your eyes. This dog is not a metaphor. There were, as you know, over 2,000 of them in a place in Wisconsin called Ridglan Farms. And I want to tell you about one of them today that I had the honor of carrying out with my own 2 arms. When I was a boy, before I was any of the things I am now, I had a beagle named Tracker. And he was my first love, and he taught me what love even was. So when I heard about Ridglan, I didn't debate it. I didn't poll my friends or poll my family. I didn't ask for permission. I jumped on a plane, I flew to Wisconsin, and I walked through those gates. And inside, the dogs were spinning in their cages. They were spinning in circles, out of their minds, consumed with fear. And I reached into one of those cages to grab a dog. I lifted him out, and he was terrified of me. He thought I was one of them. And so he clawed at me. He ripped my lab coat, trying to climb over my shoulder to get free. And so I didn't know what to do in that moment, so I did the only thing I could do, and I started to speak to him. And the name that came out of my mouth wasn't his, it was Tracker's. And I said, Tracker, it's okay. I've got you. I'm here. I love you. And he finally went still. And he stopped shaking. And he stopped clawing. And I'll believe until the day that I die that my Tracker was walking out of those doors with me and the other Beagle that day. I came back a month later to try to get the rest. And this time, there were nearly 2,000 of us, right? And we were met. Peaceful people trying to rescue dogs with bullets, rubber bullets, with tear gas, with pepper spray. And one of the original arresting officers recognized me, and he called out my name when he saw my face. He said, Pete, don't do it, Pete. And of course, I did it anyways. We didn't get the dogs out that day, and some people call that a failure. But let me tell you what a failure really looks like. Failure is staying home. Failure is deciding it's not your problem. Failure is knowing what happens behind those walls and deciding to keep your hands clean. What we did was not a failure because the whole world saw what we did. And the people that run these sorts of places cannot afford for the world to see them. And so because the noise we made and the cameras we brought and the attention that we forced, welfare organizations were able to do what they hadn't done in 60 years. And they were able to negotiate the release of 1,500 beagles from Ridglan Farms. And then recently, as you know, another 135 were just released. Yeah. And there will be more to come. So now more than 1,600 dogs are out. They are feeling grass under their paws for the first time, and Ridglan has been exposed. Vivisection has been exposed. And that didn't happen because people showed up to protest. It didn't happen because someone signed a petition. It happened because people showed up and refused to leave without the dogs or cuffs. But now understand this, as you know, this is not over. It's happening right now, today, while we're in this room, while I'm standing on this stage. Beagles, just like the ones we carried out of Ridglan, are still at MBR acres, bred by the thousands for the same machine. Primates are strapped down in laboratories at Arizona State University and other universities, their skulls open, their minds broken, paid for with your public money. Pigs, mice by the millions, the numbers are so high we can't even count anymore. There are laboratories in my city, there are laboratories here in LA, in your city, wherever you come from. Your tax dollars go in through one side. No truth, no real accountability, and absolutely no mercy ever comes out the other side. Because they are counting on you to never picture the dog in the cage. They are counting on the hum of that light never reaching your ears. But something is changing. People are waking up. The walls are getting thinner. The world is finally beginning to see vivisection for what it really is. It's not science. It's not necessity. It's cruelty that we all inherited generations ago, and we were told never to speak about it or question it. And it is on the way out. We, us, you are the reason it's on its way out. Several of us are facing real prison time, as you know, for what we did. I want to be honest about that. We knew. We knew the risk when we went there, and we went there anyways. We walked through those gates. And a long time ago, a beagle named Tracker taught this little boy that a life is a life, that it can shake with fear, that it can ache with love exactly like ours. And that when you have the power to carry someone out of the darkness, the only unforgivable thing you can do is leave them there. I won't leave them there, and I know you won't leave them there. Thank you. Take the stage.